Welcome to this tutorial, which will explain the DustBuster Plus basics. There are several ways to open an image sequence in DustBuster. The first and the most easiest one is to use the File menu. File, Open. This will show a sequence dialog. With the sequence dialog, you need to navigate to the sequence which you want to open. In our case, we want to open the tutorial sequence, and we click on the sequence and open it. Other ways to open a sequence would be using drag and drop, or via the Start menu, Open Tutorial in DustBuster. Once the sequence is open, you can play through the sequence by using the play button or the shortcut, which is the space key. And to navigate through the clip, you can use the cursor left and right, like this. If you want to zoom in on a certain location, you just go with the mouse in the area where you want to zoom in, and use the mouse wheel to zoom in. If you want to pan the image, you need to hold down the Shift key, and then you can move around the image. You can also go into the pan mode, which is over here, the hand, and then you can normally pan with the left mouse. To reset the GUI, you can either press the reset button or just simply escape, which will bring you to the default zoom back. Next, I would like to describe the timeline in DustBuster Plus. The timeline consists of several tracks. As you can see, the most bottom track is the source sequence, which is the input, and when we click on it, we get a description of the sequence again, which is path, resolution, and some other metadata about the sequence. The filter track is dedicated for filters. These are filters which are working over the time, and the tool track is sort of the interactive track, and that's the track for interactive frame-based restoration, and that's what we want to focus on. So please make sure that the tool track is selected. Next, we would need to select a tool with which we would like to work. This is up in the toolbar. Here we have, when you click on this, you get a selection of available tools to work on the tool track. And for restoration, we have a set of tools called repair tools, where we have a dust, interpolate, in-paint, repair tool, or for manual restoration, we have a cloning tool. You can also make the tool window bigger and place it wherever you like, or you can change the tools by just pressing the function key, like F6 for interpolate, F7 for in-paint, F5 for dust. Once a tool has been selected, the tool has, or some tools have, different interaction modes. Like in dust, the interaction mode would be a rectangular ROI. In a tool for interpolate, the interaction mode is either a brush or a rectangular ROI. So I can select which interaction mode I would like to work with. As I said, in dust, we just have the rectangular available. Over here on the right side, we have the parameters of a tool. Like in dust, we can select the reference, which indicates with which images we want to reflect the image before and after, or only from the image from before, or only from the image from after, time-wise. The sensitivity is the detection sensitivity of the dust, and the minimum size, the minimum dust which we would like to find. Once the parameters are okay, and in this case I leave it to default, all I need to do is probably zoom in a little bit here, draw with the mouse a rectangular area around it, and the dust module or the dust tool will automatically detect the dust inside this row. And after the detection, it automatically fixes it. So I can go from dust to dust, and just select it and it will be fixed. Now I have different viewing options to check my result, and one is pressing the Tab key, which will change my input from A to B. You see here we have A and B. In A every track is turned on, and B only the source sequence is selected. So when I now switch my viewing to B, I will see the original input, like now, and I switched it with the Tab key, and another Tab key switches it back to A. I can also toggle this with the A-B toggle button in the viewing menu here by pressing it, or I can select it in my viewing options, like here, View A or View B. If I would like just to highlight the differences between A and B, I can go into the difference mode, which is over here, difference mode, and this will highlight the differences in red. I can toggle this with Shift D for difference on, off as well. As you have seen, removing dust with the dust tool is very simple, but sometimes probably it's not possible that dust will detect actually the dust spot, and then we would have another tool called Interpolation. I select Interpolate, which will replace everything inside the row. Interpolate has two interaction modes, either with a brush or with a